Cyber Ninja Online, guys. Welcome to Battle Brothers. Let me clear my throat here. This is I don't know if it's a fairly new game, but it's new to me. I don't know a whole lot about it. I just remember I was on Steam one day, and I seen it on the homepage, and it caught my eye. Normally, if a game doesn't catch my eye, I don't pay it attention, but it caught my eye. So I wishlisted it, and then a little bit later, I seen one of the people I watch on YouTube was actually doing a playthrough of it himself, and I liked what I seen, so I got it. I haven't put that many hours into it. I think I've put like 8 hours, maybe, give or take. But I've played it a little bit, and I've learned. I want to say I've learned the basics. I might not know everything, but I feel confident enough to say I've learned the basics. And I'm ready to jump into it, record it for you guys. We're probably going to be doing a bunch of playthroughs here just because I've never played this before and I don't expect to beat it the first time, but we'll see. Let's go ahead and jump into a new campaign here. Open my window a little bit. Now, we get to choose a name for our company. Basically, the name for our mercenary group. That's the name I want. Got a whole bunch of banners here. Might as well quickly cycle through them and show you guys. I think I have an idea of which one I want to choose the first time, but then after that we'll just go whichever ones they give us and as we play on. So I actually want this one. We'll be playing on beginner, just because, like I said, I'm still new. Probably up it to veteran after, maybe. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Basically, the only thing that differs from beginner to veteran is we get more starting funds, lower prices, less challenging contracts and opponents, and we're able to carry more resources at once. None of it makes a huge difference, but Iron Man is basically we can only save when we leave the game, so there's no like saving, and then if something goes wrong, reloading the save. Save scumming, as most people call it. It's a horrible term, but anyways, late game crisis. So basically we can choose to have either whichever one we want to start first, and then the rest of them will go random, or we can have them randomly go as we see fit. I've never played long enough to actually see one of these happen, but basically I guess as the game progresses, one of these will happen. So either you'll have war between the different factions, you'll either have the orcs invade, or you'll have undead just randomly come through. And then also permanent destruction, which means cities, towns, and castles can permanently be destroyed by any of these late game crises. And then the map seed, you can enter it in. I don't think you can random it, but in any case, it's one we're going to be playing with. I don't know the map seeds, so let's go ahead and hit start. I actually really like this game, and I'm excited to play it for you guys. Now, if you're watching this current time, I'll give you an update right now as the Two Worlds playthrough. I'm close to finishing it. I could probably finish in the next recording, but I wanted to explore the whole map before I finish the series. That's kind of what I'm doing right now. The last battle. It all went wrong. 2 days ago, the company was hired to track down Hoggart the Weasel and his band of raiders, but it was them who found you first. An ambush. Some jokes about horses, cut short by an arrow to the throat. Arrows shooting in from everywhere and nowhere. Men holler and scream, a great volume before death. As the hail subsides, you draw your weapon with the rest of the men, only to collapse to your knees. An arrow has punctured your side. You shout in pain. A harried glance sees the men charge without you to make a valiant last stand, met in force as steel clashes with steel. You meet eyes with the captain. A last nod before his throat is cut. You're left in command now of what few men remain. Trembling in pain, you lean on your sword, and with all the will you can muster, slowly rise again. To the end. It's probably how I'm going to be playing too, is straight to the end. I don't see myself retreating. Not in any of these combats. So I'll try to explain as much as I can as we go through. So first off, it's a strategy turn-based game. The only thing it reminds me of is Mountain Blade, if you guys know what that is. Only because of like the outside of the combat. So first off, it's given us control of our crossbowman. So I can either move or attack. I have action points, so he can only do a certain amount of things per turn. Fatigue, so if his fatigue gets maxed out, then he can't do certain things, regardless if he has the action points. His morale basically means, well, morale is morale. I don't know how else to just explain it. If his morale is low, he'll want to retreat on his own. If it's high, then I think he gets a little boost here and there. Head armor, body armor, and hit points, and then this is the queue. So this archer goes first, and then that archer goes, and then my other two guys. Up here is a battle log. You guys can see it pass by through here. I'm not really going to be paying it much attention. This is the number of troops we have, the number of troops the allies have, or opponents, sorry. The number of turns it's been, and then these really don't matter a whole bunch. So yeah. So first thing I want to do is see who I can hit. So I can shoot at him for 42% chance, or him for 51. I think I'll shoot at him, because I have a better chance. Now, I still have some more action points, but I'm going to reload, because it is a crossbow. You have to reload it, so. Alright, so their archer backed off. So with this guy, I think I want to charge up. And then we'll take a stab at him. 64% chance to hit. We hit him. So here, with this guy, we'll move him up. And same thing. Ooh. We got him good. Knocked off his helmet. Was that a helmet or a hat he was wearing? Not fully sure. We missed with the shot there. Let's go ahead and... Nice. Nice. Looks like we're victorious. So if you win, well, if you lose too, you'll see this exact same screen. But this is the after battle screen. Basically, it breaks it down here. So it shows you who got kills, who did the amount of damage they did, who received damage, and who got experience. I don't really know how they break up the experience, just because of if you can see here, he did more damage than he did, but he got more experience. I don't really know how it works. It might also works with their traits and whatnot. So then also loot. So we're gonna be taking all the loot we can take, especially from when we conquer battles. All right, the aftermath. You're alive. You won. The adrenaline fades, and in its wakes, you can't help but sink back to the ground, gritting your teeth. You snap the arrow's shaft. Your chest heaves. Pain for breath. Everything blurs. The company has been devastated, cut down to but a few men, and that bastard Hoggart did justice to his name, fleeing like the weasel he is. What now, Captain? A voice says from behind. It's Eberhard, who sits down beside you, bedding his bloodied axe on his legs. You turn to him to reply, but before you can answer, he continues. Bernard's dead. They slit his throat. He was a good man and a damn good leader, but all it took was one mistake. That makes you the one in charge now, don't it? Torleif joins the two of you, still breathing heavily. Then, Karsten the dog. Save the ceremony and anointments for another day. Let's give the men a good burial and return to Saddam to collect our pay. The Weasel's men are slain after all. Besides, Captain, we ought to see that wound before we lose you too. Wouldn't want to leave Torleif in charge, right? So be it. So basically, this is the world map. This is the part that reminds me of Mount & Blade. Just because you go from like faction to faction as a mercenary, basically. You have like I don't want to say Game of Thrones style, but that's the only thing I could probably relate most people to. So Game of Thrones style, like world map, and, well, not world map, but you know what I mean, like environment and whatnot. To break it down, this is our gold, it's called crowns in this game. And basically, we lose crowns every day because we have to pay salaries to our men. So there it will tell you at the bottom of it how much we pay per day, how much we have, and how many days we can last before we run out of money. Food, same thing. It will tell you how many food you use per day, and then how long you can last. Tools and supplies we use to repair stuff, and it breaks it down at the bottom there too. Ammunition we use during battle. Every single battle we take a shot. And then last but not least, medical supplies. We use those during battle too. This will tell you here obviously the day and the time of day. This just shows us how many men we have. This is our current contract, and then obviously as you look around you can see where are we on the map? Oh, there we are. As you look around you can see neighboring towns and whatnot. First thing I want to do is actually come up to the roster here. Let's go ahead and personalize our roster. We'll do that right off the bat. So I'm going to be using people off of my Steam friends list, all people I've met, people I've played games with, whatnot. And obviously people I've met in real life, their names and whatnot too. If you want to be a part of this playthrough or a part of future playthroughs, just leave a comment down in the comment section below and let me know. I'll take your YouTube name or whatever your name is on YouTube, unless you want a different name, then you gotta let me know down below. So first one we're going to start with is Empty Fridge. We're going to take the title away from him, unless they do anything miraculous then. So Empty Fridge, with the company from the very beginning, took part in one battle and has 2 kills. The most powerful opponent he vanquished was a brigand thug. He does have 2 kills, so let's give him a title, because he did basically single-handedly win that battle. The Destroyer. It's a corny name, but whatever. Background as a companion. Empty Fridge is not known to be a big talker, but he has every right to be. A misfired crossbow nearly took out your eye. Had an Empty Fridge shield been there to stop it. With quick whirls and whips of the shield, the men's deflected all manner of mortal danger. Although rather quiet, you found Empty Fridge's place in a shield wall to be rather indispensable. He's loyal, so I'm with you. The character is loyal to the end and much likely to leave you even if you run out of crowns and provisions. He's quick. Already there, the character is quick to act often before his opponents do, so he gets bonus to initiative. There's going to be a lot to cover before we actually get into constant action and whatnot, but at least I only have to do it this one time, or at least I'm only willing to do it this one time. After that, we'll skip over that and I'll just refer to the first playthrough. And then last but not least is not morale, but I want to say emotion. Mood, that's the word I'm looking for. So right now he's dissatisfied just because we had a really shitty battle. It will tell you positive and negative outlets on that, and then yada yada yada. So as we look at him, we can see all of his stats here. This is head armor, body armor, his health. This one's action points, so he has 9 per turn. Fatigue, morale, resolve. Resolve is basically willpower, and I think it relies on morale. Yeah, it says there. See also morale. Basically, during battle, if something goes wrong, he's less likely to be like scared about stuff and whatnot. Initiative obviously is the ranking of who goes first. Melee skill is obviously attacking skill. Range skill is another attacking skill. Then melee defense, range defense, all straightforward. His damage he does, effectiveness against armor, his chance to hit head, and then his vision. The stars there is the skills that he's I don't know how to phrase it. The skills that he's not keen to, but I guess he's better off putting points into. So he has skills like a bigger skill in hit points, and then a little bit of a skill fatigue and resolve. As they level up, we can give perks and all that. I'm not going to go through that right yet. We're just going to keep going. So next, we got Nero, who has no title yet. He's another companion too. He has a different story here, so we'll read it. Brooding and at times suicidal, it's no surprise that Nero was frequently found diving into battle with nothing more than a large two-hander. Clothed in murderous intent, you once saw him cleave a man in two, top to bottom. He'll use any weapon you give him, but Nero has a proclivity towards those that can make Calamotius rune out of a man's body. Those are some big words, Jesus. Short-sighted. Is that a tree or an orc over there? This character is short-sighted and cannot see far, so unfortunately his vision is down a little bit. He's athletic though, so the character is physically fit. Builds up 2 less fatigue each turn he travels, and then again he's dissatisfied too. He's been with the company for the very beginning, took part in 1 battle. I forgot to go over that, but you can see how much they get paid per day. So he has skill in melee, melee defense, and resolve. And then last but not least to start with, we got Postman Bonds. Postman Bonds is one of the most talented marksmen you've encountered in your travels. He once won an archery contest that had over 100 participants from all the lands. While he was a fondness for killing from afar, Postman Bonds no slouch in close quarters combat. He's bright, so this character has an easier time than most with grasping new concepts and adapting to the situation. Gets more experience, so that's why he got more experience than Nero. Explains it. Survivor. Why won't you just stay dead? This character is a survivor and will outlive most of his peers. He has a 90% chance to survive if struck down and not killed by a fatality. It's good to have. And then obviously he has skills in range, range defense, and initiative, which is good. With the company from the very beginning, took part in 1 battle, and then his salary is 11. We're almost done here, I promise. Is that two-handed or one-handed? That is one-handed. Forgot I could do that. I'd rather give him that and a shield for the time being. Just because I kind of have a way in mind that I want to do it for a better chance of survival and whatnot. So, let's return to Sundime. Return to Sundime to get paid. It's a hard name to say. I'm talking for like forever, it felt like. The return to Sundime. What a sorry display it must be for the onlookers as you arrive in Sundime. 4 bloodied and beaten mercenaries down on their luck. The man who hired the company days ago. That's giving me all the fucking retarded names. Galsier of Sundime. No doubt expect you to return in more glorious fashion. Still, he welcomes you to the house and offers bread and wine with a servant, or while a servant fetches a healer. Few words are exchanged except for the occasional grunt and wheeze as an elderly man with shaky hands tends your wounds. A pin pierces your skin, the first of many stitches to come. You grit your teeth, till you think you hear one break. Gesselher of Sundime sits beside you and asks if you took care of Hoggart. You shake your head. We killed his men, but the weasel eluded our blades in the end. The healer waves around a glowing fire poke, suggesting he wants to push it into your wound. You nod, and he does so. For a moment, that's all there is. You're not a man, but a pinch of fire, flesh from flame, a golem of pain. Galsier of Sundime hands you a goblet of wine. You did well, Sellsword. The brigands have been removed, though it is a shame that Hoggart still lives. We do expect to get paid for this. Gisselher of Sundine Gas. Well, naturally, 400 crowns as agreed upon. He gestures towards servant who rushes to your side with a pay in hand. I wonder, may I make use of your services one more time? I'd very much like to end the headache that is Hoggart once and for all. And I would pay you again, of course, another 400 crowns, shall we say? Nero scoffs and turns to drink more wine, but Empty Fridge the Destroyer stands to speak. Yes, the company is ruined, but we will rebuild it. Without the ninja tribe, Nero would drink the crowns away and end up begging on the streets. And Postman Bonds, by the gods we all know, he'd go chasing the women folk until one stove his rotted head in. We need the ninja tribe. It's all we have. What say you, Captain? Nero burps and raises his cup to you. Postman Bonds playfully thumbs his nose and nods. Kill that bastard, Hoggart, or not. It's up to you, Captain. I think we have unfinished business with Hoggart. Gesselher of Sundine claps his hands in satisfaction. Excellent, my little birds. Excellent. My little birds will need some time to find where Hoggart is hiding his head now. Hiding his hide now, sorry. In the meantime, I suggest you see about stocking up on supplies so that you'll be good and ready to end this when the time comes. I shall see you in a few days' time at the latest. As you leave Gissel, of Sundheim's house and stand on the outskirts of Sundheim. Empty Fridge the Destroyer seeks a word with you. We need more men, Captain. I know I gave a big speech back there, but bravado won't do shite. We need more warm bodies in the ranks. Figuring we find 3 good men, buy them some decent weapons, and dress them in the best armor we can afford. The man pauses to glance around. I bet this Bodunk's town got a desperate peasant or two looking for new life. Or we could travel to Crumwader in the northeast. Them city folk aren't always as hardy as these country bumpkins, but we're more likely to find men with fighting experiences stopping to rest there. I think that's what we shall do. First off, we're obviously going to start in here. So let's look through and see who we can hire. He's a thief. What do we got here? Fisher. Flagellant. Peddler. Grave robber. We'll take this fisherman. Background as a fisherman. Fishermen are used to physical labor. Dietrich the fisherman. Dietrich was a strong and able fisherman. As long as there was no storm, he was out there fishing day in and out. But disaster struck when his wife died during childbirth, shattering all what he held dear. Visiting the tavern one evening, a new opportunity presented itself without the promise of coin for dangerous work. Or with the promise, rather. So he requires 315 up front and only 8 upkeep per day. We'll get him. What was this guy again? Peddler. This guy's background is Flagellant. Flagelants have a high resolve in what they do, and have a high tolerance for pain, but their work has often left their bodies scarred for life. The gods pity men, spurring many, not unlike Tobjorn, to seek their favor. A night spent in a cave revealed to the believer that the gods demanded blood. Tobjorn was not one to refuse their beckoning. If Tobjorn had the power, you believed he'd purge the entire world. Thankfully, he's a mere man. He only has a 6 upkeep. We'll buy him too. I don't know if I want any of these other guys. One's a thief, one's a peddler, and the other's a gravedigger. So I think I'm actually fine with leaving the other 2. Might want him for something else. Next up on the list, we got Stapper. He's just joined the company. He's in good spirits, blah, blah, blah. We're at that. It's clumsy. This character can be as dangerous for himself as to his opponent. He's a -5 in melee skill, but he excels in melee, so. And then we got Mama Diabetum. He's greedy. I want more. This character is greedy and will demand a higher daily payment than others with a similar background, as well as being fast to leave you if you ever run out of crowns. Hopefully that never happens. Stapper has skill in melee, range defense, and resolve actually. And then Mama Diabetum here has skill in range, melee defense, and hit points. Ideally, I want to convert Mama Diabetum into an archer. Whether that happens right now or not is... Well, I could make it happen right now. Let's see. Let's do some trading now here. So I'm not actually going to keep those bandages. It's good in combat, but I never use them. So I'm actually going to sell all that. Now this game does have a... I don't want to say a trading system, but it will tell you the worth and how much you can buy it for. Obviously, if you know how to trade properly, you can make that to your advantage. So we'll try to be keeping an eye out for that. How much? We have provisions for 4 days. And I think we're good on everything else. The bow and that quiver aren't too bad, so I want to buy those. Let's go ahead and give them to Mama Diabetum right now. Get rid of that. What else should I be? I should get a shield. Provided it's not like super expensive. Go ahead and get that. I'm going to have to fix this shield up, unfortunately, but that's fine. Let's go ahead and do some, let's do some inventory management here real quick. Give him that. Let's basically give him stuff back. Give him his stuff back. Ideally, I want Empty Fridge and Nero to be the first ones to get stuff because they've been here first. I would give Postman the first stuff too, but if he's going to be on the back row, he doesn't necessarily need all the best stuff he can get. So, I'll give him the hat then, I guess. Yeah, as I was saying though, if he's going to be on the back line, he doesn't necessarily need anything. So, I think that's all for here. Finally done in Sundheim. It's a fishing village. So, here's our objectives here. Visit Crumwader northeast of Sundheim. Recruit at least 3 more men. That was starting from 3, so I only have to recruit 1 more. And then buy weapons and armor for your men. You don't actually have to do any of this stuff. You can walk there and walk back, but obviously we're gonna go ahead and try it. But yeah, as I was saying earlier, my 2 Worlds playthrough is basically on hold. Hopefully not for a long time, but just until I finish exploring the map off screen, and then we'll go back to it. Along the way, as Crumwader's skyline appears on the horizon, Postman Bond seeks a word with you. Never been to Crumwader before, but I've been around ones that look a lot like it. Cities like these are great for selling goods, as all these prissy, pompous pricks love to have their goods delivered. With so many merchants, you can find almost everything you need to. Keep an eye out for bargains, and don't get swindled by them cutthroat merchants. Nero sees fit to add his opinion of what you should do. If there's a good tavern, I say that's where we should go first. Nothing helps a man down on his luck more than a good pint. God knows we earned it. Postman Bond shakes his head. You say that every time we stop into town. You say that even when you're already drunk. I'll keep it in mind. It's basically they're touching upon the whole trading aspect like I had mentioned earlier. And like I said, we'll try to get into it. So a barber can customize haircuts and beards. Basically, potions to lose weight. I didn't know that either. Basically, you can customize characters. We're not going to get into that. Unfortunately, characters aren't going to live very long, so taverns, basically all you can do here is you can learn news or you can cheer up your men. Markets, obviously, you can buy and sell stuff. Hire is where you buy people, and then harbors you can only get to from waterfront towns, but basically it's just quick passage from harbor to harbor instead of walking. There's another fisherman there. Let's go ahead and take this fisherman. We'll read his story in a second so I can have his name with it. This one's going to be Blurry Phase. Blurry Phase was a strong and able fisherman. As long as there was no storm, he was out there fishing day in and out. It was after a priest of the gods told Blurry Phase that the life of a fisherman was not what they desired of him, but that they wished for him to spill blood in their name, that he would set his eyes on another trade. Visiting the tavern one evening, a new opportunity presented itself with the promise of coin for dangerous work. And then he's sure-footing. So sure-footing makes it hard to catch the character off balance and land a hit. So he gets melee defense from that. He has skill and hit points, resolve and initiative. Sorry, I was gonna say morale. So let's go ahead and buy him a shield for now. Maybe a better weapon too. Shit, I should have kept those other weapons too. I shouldn't have sold those. Oh well. They're pretty pricey here, shit. Thinking about getting this club. Sorry, mace. I think that's all. Alright, so let's head back to Gisler of Sundim in